So hey, here we go. It's about 6 days since my last post, and somehow I feel like I didn't speak my mind on everything that I feel about toxic relationships. So it's definitely a place where I'm coming out of again, my blogs are beyond raw food, so it's like, whether you're 100% into raw food or 80% or struggling or just seeing the truth of that, I want to tell you that in terms of our advancement of becoming our highest self, our highest potential, food is going to get you, it's going to get you started. It's because, you know, in the world of spirituality, we know that they talk about a soul, you know, and to me, the soul is the brain. I mean, that's where the consciousness lives. And so the brain are in these bodies that are mostly liquid, bags of water and carbon. And so a lot of, especially as Westerners, Christians, seem to think, oh, well, you can eat anything that you want. And, you know, and your soul and this and that and well, whatever. So you are what you eat, you know. If you change what you're eating, then your soul, your brain, is going to start thinking different. So that's a good step. But I can tell you, as a raw foodist for 25 years, okay, yeah, it changed me. It made me take that step, but then I never went anywhere else because I said, oh, well, and just because perhaps it wasn't my time, and you know, and to quote David Wolf, you know, it's like a saying that I heard when I went to the best weekend ever, which was, do what you can do and don't worry about what you can't. So I like that because there's certainly so much that we can do, especially when we see other people that are so far beyond us, you know, that are maybe even younger than us. I was in LA last night and I hung out with Truth Calkins for about 2.5 hours at the Tonic Bar at Air One, and let me just tell you, you know, just being around that guy, that's a major inspiration to see somebody that's on this path, that's developing themselves constantly. And so, toxic relationships. So, let's touch this time on the toxic relationship as being the relationship that you have with yourself. The soul, you know, the intellect versus, you know how we feel like we're two different people inside ourselves. And so, perhaps that relationship that you have with yourself is toxic, where, I mean, you've got to be gentle on yourself. You can't be rough on yourself because that's just going to lead to a whole different thing where it's like, where you're just a machine. You're kind of like an athlete, you know. There's, you know, there's people that are athletes. Don't get me wrong. I'm not talking shit about athletes because I was an athlete for a lot of time in my life and it brought me a lot of peace. And perhaps that's why I never took the steps that I'm taking now, is because I was more of an athlete. And so you're just a machine, you know, where you just have these list of things that you do, but you're not really, you know, you're not really free with yourself, you know. So anyways, so I've just had a lot of these issues with myself where I'm finally getting into seeing what's so like, well, why do you allow that? Why do you, you know, let's move away from these things. Let's find other catalysts, other things, you know, eating differently, reading, setting up routines where you're setting yourself up to launch off into different directions, you know, like spending some time just reading books. I have this huge amount of books, you know, right here. The camera's sitting on all these books. Dr. David Jubb, lots of wellness books. And this, not all my books for sure. These are just the ones. I get up in the morning. I was doing this the whole time that I was separated from my partner. I'd get up in the morning, and I wouldn't even get out of bed. I would take in, you know, 20 minutes. This is my bedroom, by the way, where we're at. This lovely green color that I have going on here is where I wake up at, and I'm going to get back into that routine where, you know, I'm reading stuff by amazing people, and or I have my iPod in here with lectures that I have downloaded from The Best Day Ever, and God only knows what. And it's like, and it's not only raw food people. I mean, it's people like you know, Ram Dass, people like Terence McKenna. You know, that's a big one for me, is Terence, because and not to digress here, to continue on the subject, is having this toxic relationship with yourself, where it's like you allow yourself to sit in front of the television, to sit and waste time. And if you need to do that, you know, sometimes at the end of a night, I don't watch television mostly at all, but it's like, from my partner living here, I still have a package set up with my internet, my cell phones, my regular hardline, and my television. And I enjoy seeing people make food. And so if I'm up late and it's midnight, I will watch Iron Chef on the Food Channel. And that's a good little treat, you know. And it's like, but just sitting there, just blowing your brains out on television, it's like, well, why are we doing this? Like, maybe we need to get on the other side of this, and we need to, like, get some more, work towards some self-esteem, you know? Like, make yourself better, make yourself more proud of yourself, you know? Where you know, where I'm at right now, and I'm going to this is going to be a big concept that I'm going to bring into these blogs because of the time that we're living in right now. And I'm probably going to listen to a little Terence McKenna. He was talking about this evolution that we were moving towards with 2012, and this whole 2012 thing has, in my mind, has nothing to do with the whole end of the world. It's a critical point, and I think to anybody that's on a spiritual path right now, or I don't even need to call it a spiritual path, is on a path of improvement, and in this toxic relationship with yourself is realizing that there are many aspects to us. There's the physical, there's the emotional, there's the spiritual, there's the mental, and oddly enough, those are the 4 suits within a deck of tarot cards. And those are the aspects of us. And in this toxic relationship, you've got to pay attention to all of that stuff. And I want to just say right now, a big thing in this toxic relationship with yourself is atheism. That's a load of shit. You maybe have been damaged by Christianity or damaged by something if you think that. You know, I don't believe, and I'm not down with the whole God Squad thing. I do believe in rebirth. You know, it's the only way that there's justice in the world. Otherwise, you know, God's a fucker if it's one life, one death, because it's not fair. So, the atheism thing just doesn't work. I was listening to a lecture with Brian Clement at Raw Spirit Fest, and he said, generally anybody that doesn't have a belief in something higher or something bigger than the fact that we're just an accident here, really doesn't heal themselves of chronic disease. And most people that have some bigger belief system beyond just the whole idea that our existence is a happy accident is, and I'm down with that, because I can tell you where I'm at right now and the things that have happened to me in the last few years, there's definitely forces at work. And I think in this whole removing toxicity, I think you've got to become aware of the fact that there is bigger and better stuff, and unseen forces that are around us, that we're attached to, and things that deal with our subconscious and our conscious mind, and all of that stuff. So anyways, this is part 3, toxic relationships. 6 days later, I want to say I'm having a great time, and